shit, here's what we're gonna jump off at, because I'm a big daddy's boy, right?
Yeah.
And so anytime I see people who have a great connection with their fathers, it like gets me all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you look just like them too. You
I know,
what I mean?
that's my twin.
For real. But talk about y'all's relationship from the beginning all the way to where you are now, how it was to play for him or have him be one of your coaches. Did it ever be like, damn, daddy, man, chill out, man? Or was it always like, I love seeing my daddy over there?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was, if you know Gary Pitts, you know he's competitive. So
Very much.
he's very tough on me, but I know it comes out of love. So he started coaching me in middle school. He took over a AAU team called the Oklahoma Eagles, which is they're no longer a thing. But yeah, he coached me all the way up through my senior year of high school. And like I said, it was tough because, you know, you got your daddy traveling every road trip with you. And, and he's a little tougher on me than he was on the other kids. I got a couple balls thrown at my head during practice and kicked out. You know, the whole thing.
I didn't know
the
that
whole
part.
9.
Oh, my goodness.
So, but I enjoyed every bit of it. I liked having him there for everything. So
that's what I'm talking about. So I would imagine y'all spent a lot of time one-on-one working together.
Yeah.
Right. Before practice,
after practice. At
the house.
Yep.
What type of player were you in the beginning? Like what came naturally to you, and what are some things that you had to work at to be good at? You know what I mean?
So I'm not necessarily a natural scorer. So defense came like that to me because I originally started playing soccer. Like that was my first love. Yeah. that was always my thing. Like, oh, if I'm a starter, I'm going to be guarding the best player on the other team. So defense came easy. Shooting was pretty easy for me too, but just being like a natural scorer, that was always difficult. Like, look to shoot, look for your shot. I'm like, next pass. I'm gonna find my open teammate. So
turn down a good one to get the great one.
Right.
I'm not even sure if that's a skill as much as it is an instinct.
Right.
I dealt with the same thing. Coaches be on me. You put in all this work.
Right.
It's hard for me to come down and just pull 3-4 in a row unless I'm hot like
that.
You know.
Yeah.
But would you say, from an athletic standpoint, you were natural?
Yeah.
You were quick, you were fast, you could jump, all that?
I'm not necessarily a jumper, but I was quick. I have quick feet, and I was pretty fast. So
you took off quick with it?
Yeah.
Even in middle school?
First tip. Yeah. Yeah, I think in middle school. It kind of took a minute for me to get over the hump. Like, I was absolutely terrible when I started in elementary, but like I really started in third grade. I played for like a little Rainbow League, and I was like, this isn't for me. So I started back up in 5th grade playing up with the 6th and 7th grade team, and then I kind of went from there and I got better. Yeah.
When you say started back, so that means you stopped?
Yes.
And when did soccer?
I was doing soccer. I started soccer when I was little. And I only played club soccer. I went all the way up to my senior year of high school.
Nah, that part I didn't know. So you was a 2-sport athlete?
Yeah, all through, leaving basketball games early to go to soccer games, tournaments, all that.
Oh, okay, so this may be a crazy question, but which one are you a bigger fan of?
Basketball.
Easy.
I still enjoy watching soccer and just playing for fun, but I fell out of love with soccer really quick.
Yeah.
Kind of got burnt out on it.
I respect it. Now, take me through your high school journey. You went to East Central, right?
I graduated from East Central.
You graduated from East Central?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Set me straight.
Originally, my freshman year, I went to Booker T.
Okay.
And I transferred my sophomore year to East Central and ended up graduating from there. So.
Did you play your freshman season?
I did. I played on the freshman and JV team at Booker T.
Yeah. Then made that jump.
Then I transferred. Couldn't play varsity because of the transfer, so I played on JV again, and then junior and senior year varsity.
In hindsight, was that a good move, you think?
I enjoyed high school. I'm glad I made that move. Yeah, I missed out on a couple of rings, but we not going to.
If you have the timing is key.
Literally, my freshman year when I was at Booker T, East Central won.
That's right. That was 07, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was you graduated in what, 10?
10, yep.
So your freshman year, I was a senior.
Yeah.
So it's about the same time.
Yeah.
They definitely got you back.
Transferred, and then Booker T won back to back. My sophomore and junior year.
0809.
Then I got to my senior year and we made it to state and we lost by 4.
Yeah.
So, made it to a championship.
Yeah, you did. And see, during that era, those were 2 powerhouse programs you just mentioned.
Yeah.
In not just in the Green Country Conference, but in the state. Like you could count on those 2 to be dancing.
Yeah.
when it mattered. So what was that like when you got over there as a transfer student, I'm pretty sure a lot of the kids you already knew because it's Tulsa, it's small.
Right.
But was it a tough transition process, like reintegrating yourself into another situation?
A little bit, but like you said, I knew most of the girls there already, so it wasn't too bad. When I was in middle school, I used to go to games and stuff. Yeah, it was intimidating, just like watching them. You know, growing up, I watched Tabi, Tasha, Val, you know, all them. They giants. I'm like, oh man.
Right. They seem that way when you
yeah,
little.
right.
Did you have some good vets though when you got over there?
Yeah, definitely.
They brought you along?
Ashley Holman was still there. Shalay Stansel, she was there. Who else?
I literally
Brittany
know every one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were some vets there that had already been through everything, played through. So.
What was those practices like? You know what I mean? You got them, you, your dad, Coach Mac.
Yeah, it was intense. Yeah, that intense. At least 2 hours.
At least.
Yeah, we go hard every day, always.
Now, did it ever get smoky in there? You know what I mean? Where it's like, yo, man, listen, I know we friends, but I really don't like you right now. It's
definitely. Chippy. Yeah, but you know, once you get off the court, we good. We good, but on the court, you know, we can't be friends.
Now, you got to dispel a little bit of a narrative for me because you're saying that I've always been told, and even in my experiences, I've seen it be that simple when it's boys. We haven't seen the whole grudges like that. But in my experiences, when I was coaching girls, like if it was an issue, it was an issue. And I'm like, damn, y'all can't let this go? It was just practice?
I think it depends on the person. I kind of deal with that still, even in college. Like, girls get a little catty, you know, and when you develop friendships, sometimes you see them kind of take it easy on their friends in practice. It's like, we're not doing that.
No. You know what I'm saying?
She's not your friend right now. Y'all can be, you know, lovey-dovey and cool afterwards, but you got to challenge each other. So
I respect that. That's the only way. We got to build together.
Right.
Iron sharpens iron, as they say. Now, can you remember your welcome to high school moment? In one of the first game where somebody either hit you with a little bow or was busting your head and you're like, oh, damn, it's a different level here.
I don't know if I can remember that.
I mean, she was pretty good.
I mean, I was competitive, so I'm going to be throwing bows back at you.
I love that.
I don't even know if I can remember that, really.
Now, on the flip side, you remember your breakout game where it's like, well, maybe you just went crazy and did some scoring outside of the norm, or when you just really felt like, yo, I'm comfortable at this level?
Honestly, that was kind of practice day, in and out of practice. Like just going against like Talia and Haley, freshman year, of course. I don't know, like you had to be pretty elite to, you know, play with them and practice with them on a daily basis. So
I love that type right there. I love that type. Now, who would you say was the better one of them two? Yeah, I'm gonna get messy.
Oh no!
Because I got to watch both of them that year apart, and they both hard. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think they do different things well.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Talia, in my opinion, is one of the best point guards to ever come out of Tulsa. Like, and Haley just, she's naturally athletic. Like, can jump at the gym, you know, go score well. So
that's true.
I don't know. I can't. I'm not even gonna go there.
That's a great answer, man. I love that. Now we gotta take me to the AAU days. All right. And first of all, in your estimation, what's the difference between playing AAU, right, and the play style versus school ball?
I would say school ball is usually a little more structured, in my opinion, you know. And, well, not in my instance, but seeing now, there's a lot of kids that are on, like, school ball teams. It's like one or two that are, like, standouts. And then, you know, it drops off a little bit usually.
Got some fat to trim.
Right. And then with AAU, you know, you're usually playing with all pretty solid players. So everybody kind of does their own thing, but competition is a lot better also. So
was your role the same from high school to AAU?
Pretty much.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I was really like very defensive minded, and I've always been smart, so I kind of always knew everybody's position when it came to a play we were running, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I had the same responsibilities, really. I'm guarding the best player in high school. I'm going to be guarding the best player on the AAU team.
I love that. Were you the type to study and scout, Or you just like, you know what, I'm gonna get in the game, I'm gonna feel this person out, and then I'm gonna know how I need to adjust from there.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I'm big on tendencies. Like, she goes left like 80% of the time, so I'm definitely gonna force her right. Or when she does go left, she always tries to go back to her right. Something like that. You know, I always like try to read that and see how I can make the person I'm guarding feel uncomfortable.
That's the way it is right there. You know what I mean? I love those types right there, because that's not the pretty stuff. That's the dirty work. The stuff that doesn't make the stat sheet.
Right.
And usually the top talents don't really care to play that style. So I'm like, if you get a good one that does both of those, and so those worlds merge, we talking about somebody special, right?
Definitely.
We talking about somebody special.
That's hard to find now.
It is. Now, talk about the AAU experience. What are some of the cities and states you got to travel to that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have got to go see if it wasn't for basketball?
We went to, most of the time we were in Texas, obviously. Oh, yeah. That's like the main place.
Super Bowl in Texas.
But I think my favorite tournament might have been in Nebraska. We went to the Miss Basketball tournament over there, and we played at Nebraska Kearney.
Yeah. Heard about it.
It was crazy. I will always remember this game. We played against Jordan Hooper, who was in the league, in the WNBA she may still be, I'm not sure, for a while. And I was guarding her. Now, mind you, she's like 6'2", 6'3".
Right.
Like, little 5'7" me. 5'7". We didn't have a team full of just like all-stars, but my dad went and got kids from outside of Tulsa, like just surrounding areas, you know, just solid players. So, and we all played hard, though. That was the thing that kept us in games. We always played hard.
No substitute for that.
Right. But I think that was our main turn. We never really, I don't think we went to Atlanta. We didn't go anywhere on the East Coast, but Nebraska was my favorite tournament, I would say.
And see, as far as my bucket list goes, I haven't spent a lot of time up top neither.
Yeah.
When it comes to going up east, I got to go see what that's about. Yeah. And now it'd be leisure trips these days.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm an old man in basketball years. But I'm going to see what that's about. Okay, so you go to college, right? And you were a red shirt, weren't you? Did I read that correctly?
2-time red shirt, yes.
You got to break that down for me. And here's where I'm coming from. I'm going to tell you what fascinated me when I was looking at your info, doing my little homework, and I saw a red shirt. I remember that there were talks when I was a freshman in college about me possibly red shirt, and I knew nothing about the business. So I immediately took that as disrespect.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, that was dumb. Because it didn't happen, but had it happened, it probably would have been the best thing for me.
Right.
So, but how did the red shirt situation happen twice?
Yeah. Well, my freshman year was my first red shirt year, and I've had the same mindset, like, oh man, I'm red shirt, and that means I'm not good enough. Right. You know, like, why do I have the red shirt? I think I can play. So, just the basic red shirt. I still practiced, did everything, but I didn't play. And then the coach that I had my freshman year, he ended up leaving. And originally I was just going to go back and play JUCO because I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm still freshman, so I'll just go play JUCO, try to develop, and then go somewhere from there. But he ended up leaving. We got a new coach, and it was kind of the best situation for me to just stay. So played my sophomore year, freshman year, played my sophomore year, and then I tore my ACL. So I had a medical red shirt after that, set out that whole year, and then I ended up finishing playing 2 more years. So I was in college for 6 years playing, really. Damn. See, the ordinary number is 5. Right? If somebody has a situation once, twice. What was your mentality going through both of those, whatever you want to call it? I'm just going to call it a phase of not playing. You know what I mean? No matter what it's for. Was it hard to stay locked in and interested? My freshman year, just because I was new, you know, I was like, I don't really know. Like, I was intimidated a little bit by the upperclassmen anyway. Right. And then I was battling in practice day in and day out, knowing that I wasn't going to play at all.
Like, what's the payoff?
Yeah. And so the second red shirt was, like I said, I tore my ACL. That was my second time tearing my ACL. I had already torn my left one when I was in high school. So I kind of had a feel for what I was going to have to do, like, in order to get back and play. And I had already had a couple of years playing under my belt. So I was a little more mature about it. And I felt it as more of a way for me to learn just off the court. So I feel like I kind of heightened my IQ a little bit, just sitting on the side watching, and then having a teammate come over. I'm like, hey, when you do this, like, she's playing you this way, so do this instead. I felt like I was a third coach or a fourth coach. So
I love that though. So you tore the other one. That's what you're saying.
Yes, I have had 4 knee surgeries.
2 and 2?
One ACL on the left, one ACL on the right, and then 2 microfractures on my left.
Sheesh, woman.
Yeah.
Golly, did you ever, even one time during any of that, have one of those intrusive thoughts like, do I really want to keep hooping?
Yeah, my senior year, I was struggling big time. Yeah.
Senior year in
college.
Really?
Yeah.
The finish line is right there.
Yeah,
though.
because I had my last microfracture surgery going into that year. It was over the summer, and it was like he was like, I'm gonna do what I can, but this may last you all the way up until your last game. Like, you probably won't be able to play anymore after this. You'll have to come back and get another surgery. And I was like, okay, we'll see. And I was in pain most of the year, like struggling. I was like, I gotta finish. I'm here now. I went through all these years. I might as well finish.
Ooh, do you play still now? Or you done?
I play. I just play in the women's league out here.
When it's in you, it's just in you.
Yeah,
like, get to feeling good. Like, man, I think I can do this thing, man.
Yeah, and I struggle doing that too. So now I keep it though. Stay outside the threes. No driving to the basket.
Right.
There's no point. I'm not trying to hurt myself playing in the women's league.
Hey, man, so that means you ain't rebounding.
Oh, I rebound when I can, but
get the long miss.
I can't be in the mix with all the bigs and everybody.
I get it. See, that's where the IQ kicks in. You know how to think the game now.
I have to pass first.
Yeah, I love that. But you finished though.
I did.
So you were able to make it through the whole season without missing a single game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right, last knee injury question. After you did it the first time, you said you had a better idea of what you're gonna have to do to rehab. The second time it happened, right? The second time it happened, did you know instantly what it was?
Yep.
I know what
I was playing pickup.
Oh.
And nobody was around me. I was just jumping inside the lane because I was wide open like ball, and I just came down. My knee just went in. I said, I tore it.
Damn.
I tore it. I just knew. Once you do it once, you know what it feels like. So
trauma.
Yeah.
But you got it done. Okay, so coming out of college, did you know exactly what you wanted to do for a living?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
I knew that I still wanted to be around basketball or sports in general, but I wasn't sure if I was ready to coach. You got people in the area, you'd be a great coach. I think Dad, you need to go ahead and get into coaching. You'd be a good coach. And I'm like, I don't know if I have the patience for that. But so when I first got out of school, I didn't have a job or anything set up. I actually worked retail for a year at Abercrombie & Fitch in the mall. And it was kind of tricky for me because, like I said, I was in school for 6 years and I played. So I was never a GA. I didn't have any coaching experience. So applying for jobs was difficult because I'm trying to apply for these jobs. And I'm fresh out of school, but I don't have any coaching experience. I already have my master's, but,
there you go.
I have a coach. So I just need somebody to basically take a shot.
I
just need my foot in the door. So Rogers State had a second assistant position open up close to a year after I was at Abercrombie & Fitch. So I applied for it, went on an interview, and I just told the coach straight up, I was like, listen, if you offer me this job, I'm gonna take it. He said that was basically the reason that one of the main reasons he gave it to me, because I was just very upfront, and I just said, hey, I just need my foot in the door. I'll do what I'm asked. I'm a hard worker. I just need the opportunity.
Damn, I like that. I've been in my fair share of interviews, but I never thought to say that. So next time I'm in one of them rooms, listen, if y'all offer it to me, I'm taking it.
I know it's kind of blunt, okay.
No, I'm going to tell you why that makes sense to me, though, because I remember some years ago, whenever I was thinking I was ready to become a head coach, they were like, man, just go, start going, getting you some interview experience. I'm like, well, to me, that was kind of a goofy concept, because, why would I go in there practicing? What if they mess around and make me an offer? You know what I mean? So if we're going to do this for real. This ain't no dress rehearsal for me.
Right.
But, so I like that. If you offer it to me, sir, I'm taking it. But anyway, you went to Southwest Baptist University, right?
Yes.
Did they not have any availability? Was that a thought let me go back to where I just wrapped up at and see if I can get my feet wet that way?
Um, the they have a GA
Uh-huh.
position there, but like I said, I already had my master's,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, I don't really know what I would do. Would I get a second master's? Like,
Right.
I'm just like, I'm just go home, think about it. And I had one of my best friends was actually working retail at the same place before, and she was like, I'm about to leave, so you can just take this, just to get a little money until you decide what you really want to do after. So
things lined up for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Just kind of lined up.
So your first season at Rogers State was when? 2000.
Oh Lord, yeah, I'm going in my 5th season now. So was it
Time
2021? I know, like 2016.
Okay.
2017.
2017.
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
Whew.
So, what was your role then at that time?
So like I said, I was a second assistant.
Yeah.
So basically, I did a lot of the I don't want to say managerial work, but
Yeah, I understand that.
I did a lot of the scheduling for like hotels, meal, travel, that type of stuff, but also on court stuff with teams. Like we split up into 2 teams. Like I'll coach a team, and our other assistant would coach another team.
That's the fun part
Mm-hmm.
when we on the floor with it.
Right.
At that point, I would imagine you got to be somewhere around about 23.
I actually graduated from college when I was 24.
24? Okay, so my bad.
Because you think about it, I got there, I was 18.
True.
Stayed for 6 years.
Damn.
My birthday was in December, so I actually turned 24 while I was like the grandma of the team. Once I finished, I was 24, so I really about 25, 26.
Vet. All right. Well,
25,
even though you were a little old,
25.
you were a little older, but older in basketball years, that is, because we're super young for the earth.
Let's exactly.
That. But was it ever tough having to be coach, with those girls that are so close in age with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. I came in, I didn't really know what to expect anyway, so I was a little shy and just kind of, closed off, and they would ask me questions, and I'd be like,
The players would?
Just like.
So they were seeking you out then?
Yeah, sometimes, because, they reach out to their peers more than, they take things from their peers and stuff like that, I think, more than they do coaches sometimes. Yeah. But I was obviously the youngest coach on the staff, so they were just kind of like, hey, coach, what do you think about this? I'm not sure, like, ask the head coach.
Yeah.
I just it took me a minute to, like, feel comfortable in the position that I was in. Like, okay, you can do this. Like, even though you haven't coached before, like, you have coached before. Like, you've been on the sideline and given advice and done that. So just be confident in, what you're doing. So.
Did you have to come to that on your own, or was it a moment where one of your coaches like, look, I didn't bring you here for this?
No, I had to do it on my own.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely had to do it on my own.
Oh, I love that right there, though. So nowadays, your role now versus then, I know you comfortable in your own skin. I can just see how you moving when you're in different venues, when you're communicating with coaches or whoever you're talking to. Oh, yeah, she belongs in this profession. Yeah. So what's your day-to-day look like today? About the same? Well, I would imagine you got more on your plate.
A little more on my plate, yeah.
All right. What all you do?
I got promoted a couple years ago to first assistant. We had a head coaching change.
Okay.
I was a second assistant, and the coach that I'm currently working for now promoted me to his first assistant. And some of those duties have changed. Like I said, I don't do as much of the travel scheduling stuff, but everything else outside of scheduling games, I'm pretty much doing. So as far as like making sure the kids are like scheduled for or have the correct class schedules, books are together, what else on logs for like NCAA purposes, all that. We do not have a strength and conditioning coach at Rogers State. So
I would have taken that for granted. Like,
it's harder than I thought it would be, because having a strength conditioning coach is like key, and you obviously can't just go in not knowing anything about weights and stuff like
that. Freestyling.
Yeah. When I first got there, I didn't really have a hand on weights much. Our first assistant did, and so as I moved up, I realized like, okay, this is something that I have to take responsibility for now, and I don't want to be the reason that someone gets hurt because we didn't, build them up the way that we should have. So, I have to like educate myself through the summer and everything, just to make sure like I set them up. Well, me and the other coach set them up for a program during preseason, even during season, that's gonna prepare them, you know, for games and stuff like that. So I think that's the main challenge for me, because I didn't go into it like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to, you know, have a whole weight program for a team, but
it just fell in your lap.
Part of yeah.
Now, help me get my time frames together. Mm-hmm. Were you there when Rogers State went from NAIA to NCAA? Were you there during that time? Oh, so that was after you. Okay.
That was before
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I got there, we were already NCAA school. Now we've changed conferences since I was there. My first 2 years, we were in the Heartland Conference, and they ended up doing away with that conference altogether. And majority of those teams went to the Lone Star. Well, Rogers State and Newman ended up moving to the MIAA, which anybody can argue with me. That's the best Division II conference in the nation.
Straight up.
Yes, definitely. That's UCO's in that conference. I know you just interviewed Heather.
Yeah.
UCO, Pitt State, Emporia, Central Missouri. No, UFIS is in the Lone Star. But originally they were in the Heartland with us. But once they split up, they went to the Lone Star. So, yeah.
What are some of y'all's notable opponents where it's like, okay, this game right here, we're going to have to get some rest. We're going to have to eat our Wheaties. It's probably going to be packed out. You know what I mean? When Rogers State links up with who?
Day in and day out, everybody, top to bottom in the conference is really good. But our rivals now are NSU, Northeastern State, Oklahoma. Yeah. So when we play them, it's like, okay, make sure y'all ready, because we got to beat them.
Exactly. Now, do you ever have moments as a coach where you sort of like, I guess you can call it an out-of-body experience, where you know you're there in a capacity as a coach, but then you're able to step back as a fan and be like, yo, this is a hell of a game I'm a part of right now.
Definitely.
Fanning out in that thing. You know what I mean? It's like, have you ever seen a player that you've coached or coached against that reminds you a lot of yourself? Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
Everybody, not just everybody can be Ashlee Pitts.
Oh no! Don't do that. No.
Nah, I ain't gonna put it up. But I said it, not her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think.
But you know, that's probably a good thing, though. And where that question stemmed from was, I can remember in the beginning when I started coaching, what was sort of rough for me was to meet a player where they were from an instructional standpoint. Yeah. It's like I was like subconsciously, sometimes consciously, comparing them to me, and I'm like, yo, this was easy for me. Why are you struggling with it? And then eventually I'm like, nah, let me get over myself. This is where I think you should be, but really you here, so let's go get you. And we're gonna bring you home.
That happens on the daily. Even like during practice, like, you know, we do reps on, we'll just say defense, like shell drill. Everybody does shell drill, and it's like a missed assignment, like, yo, we went over this 15 times already. In the middle. Like, why are you not understanding still? And then, like you say, you have to take a step back. Like, okay, you know, maybe it's just not clicking right now. That's fine. So let me pull you to the side and show you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe I was like, I hate to say it, but maybe you didn't get taught before you got here.
That's the thing. Big time. I'm not even gonna put it out there on some of these trainers, but
yeah.
Teach your kids fundamentals. That's all I gotta say. Teach your kids fundamentals.
Because all this, you know, none of it is original anymore. All of this stuff, you can bring all the props out you want, and you can turn your music on in the background, make it look like something. But it's like it comes down to the meat and potatoes, which I had to learn because I wasn't no natural athlete. Slow feet, all that. Everybody went quick. Oh. All right, talk to me about recruiting. All right, how rough of a grind is that? And I probably overestimated in my mind. I don't know, but in my mind, I'm like, man, see, they turning and burning, just gambling. You know what I mean? Rolling the dice to see if this particular kid is interested enough to jump on board.
Yeah, it's very tough, especially with us moving into the MIAA. Like, the level of play is a lot different than it was in the Heartland Conference, and you know, you got to look for a different type of player, like not just the athlete. You got to have a really high IQ. And that's what I tell a lot of people. Like, the conference that we're in is different. Like, it's not just, oh, she can just throw the ball out and go. You got to be smart. Like, next play, who's the next open person type. So going to tournaments over the summer and everything, like that's what I'm looking for, like the stuff on outside of just the play. Like, are you coachable? You know, are you a hard worker? Are you gonna pout after you make a bad play or whatever the case may be? But it's tough day in and day out, just up and down Texas here, this place here, not even Chicago. We never go to Chicago.
Right.
Kansas here, Missouri, you know, back. It's rough, but
That's part of it, huh?
yeah, it's definitely part of it.
Do you find time to be a human and decompress? You know, when you in the middle of the hustle and bustle.
I try.
You try?
Yeah, I do.
What's some hobbies that you get into that ain't got nothing to do with sports?
When I can, I like to travel to just different places, just
Right.
to, you know, see how lifestyle is in a different state. Or a lot of times I just like to chill, like lay and just listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Low
I'm
maintenance.
not really a TV head, so TV shows, movies, I'm not, you know, big on, but I love music.
Yeah.
So I can just sit there and listen to music.
Vibing all
Yeah.
day. Now you know I was creeping. So I know y'all just took the girls trip here recently. Y'all went out, you know what I mean? They got off the soil for a minute and went and kicked it.
We did.
Where'd y'all go? Because I didn't get that far. I saw some background, said that's not over on this side.
We went to, this was actually my first time out of the country.
For real?
Went to Negril, Jamaica. Yeah, for 6 days. And
Man.
I want to go back.
I respect it. Now who put that together? Whose idea was that?
One of my coworkers at Rogers State. Well, she's not there anymore. She's actually at Eastern Illinois. Her mom was a travel agent. She was like, "Hey, you know, I think I'm gonna just put a girls trip together. You want to go?" And I was like, "Yes, I'll go. Why not?
Yeah.
Of course." So she got it set up. It was really a group of her friends, and like, going into it, I only knew her and my sister. And the other girls have just met there, but it worked out. Everybody got along. We had a great time.
That's solid right there.
We'll be having another girls trip, 2022.
Listen, I dig it. And see, my mentor told me some years ago, he's like, you don't know you need a vacation until you take one.
Yeah, that's the truth. That is the truth. Because before then, I hadn't went on vacation for maybe 3-4 years.
Really?
Yeah. I would
Now,
just stay here.
did it just happen like that? Like, the time just got away, or you were just like, yo, I'm locked in and I'm good like that?
Yeah, I mean, the time kind of got away, honestly. Because we still work over the summer. Like,
Yeah.
you know, for like teachers and stuff, like you get summer break. For us, it's like, oh, recruiting starts in July. So if you want to do anything, June's probably your best bet. But there's also things to do in June too. So you might miss a week or whatever, which is what I was like, oh, I'm going to miss.
I'm gonna miss this week.
I'm going to miss this week this time.
That answered my next question. I was going to say, cool, what part of the year is the slowest for you? Not necessarily slow, but the slowest.
Yeah. The summer is definitely the slowest part of the year, but July, that's recruiting period. So that's marked off. Like, you probably shouldn't go on vacation in July. June, maybe right after you get out of school, the end of May, that's probably the best bet.
I like that. Last vacation question, arguably the most important. Did you make it back right side up? You know what I'm saying? You didn't put too big of a dent in the pockets, did you? You was all right?
Yeah, I did okay.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That's always the best news. Okay, so now when it comes to recruitment, you got, I would consider her family at this point. Yeah. Tangi.
Yes,
Yeah, one of y'all's newest committees, right? So what'd you see in that kid that made her attractive to you, and what made you think that she'd be a good fit for Rogers State?
Creed actually reached out to me, and he, you know, told me like, hey, you know, my little sister, like, she just moved here. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna check her out. And he's like, now mind you, she's just been playing, like, this is her third year playing basketball all together. So I watched her and I'm like, no way she's only played 3 years. Like, she's good. Like, she has she learned how to play basketball that quickly. It was kind of like, wow, okay. And she plays hard, you know. She's coachable. I have yet to see her like really just get angry and, you know, pout. Like I said, I'm so big on body language because mine wasn't the best. And once I learned, like, that's not necessarily the way to be, like, that's something that I look at now. But I think she has a strong upside. Big time.
See, I love that. And you actually made that last point 2 different times since we've been talking. And I hope folks are locking in and keying in on that. You cannot be out there with your lip out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an emotional game, so I can understand some emotions showing.
Definitely.
But you got to be able to snap out of that.
Yep.
You know, say, I know I had some of my boys last year. We would hit a funk and be stuck. That was it for the night.
Yeah.
But then some months later, it's like we still getting our feelings, but then we got to bring them out, intervention.
Yeah,
it don't last that long, then they back. It's okay.
Yeah.
So we're gaining some ground. I'm like, these college coaches are watching.
Yeah.
They really are. You think they're not?
Everybody's human, so you're gonna get upset from time to time, like you said. But you know, you got to snap out of it because that can take you out of your game altogether.
Straight up.
You sitting there, like you sitting on a play that happened 4 down and backs ago. Like you can't take it back. Why are you still upset?
It's continuous. You gotta move along. As it pertains to the summers, do y'all make y'all's athletes stick around? Or do they have that option to stay on campus throughout the summer and continue education and things like that?
We don't keep them with us for the summer. We just kind of give them workouts to do.
Yeah.
Now this year was a little different because of COVID. After July 5th, anybody that was either closed or on campus could come get. They could do voluntary workouts with us. So we had 1 kid stay on campus and a few that were close enough to just drive up and, get a workout in. So we did that. That's probably not going to be a thing next year, which I'm kind of upset about. But that's kind of it. They can do weight workouts with us if we kept them on campus. But again, like we don't have a strength and conditioning coach. Right. So
is that in the works, you think? Or is it just like right now, Coach Pitts, it's on you?
I'm not sure actually if it is in the works. It'd be nice if it was.
Just hanging in the balance.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure you'll find
I mean, I appreciate it because I like to lift weights. I like to stay in shape. So that's another passion of mine, is just more education for me on stuff that, works and doesn't work for athletes.
I love that. Here's the deal. Here's how we close the show, right? I want you to dig in the archives. I want you to take me back, right, to some opponent that beat you that wasn't supposed to beat you, all right, at the high school level and at the college level when you were playing, all right? And if you could run it back tomorrow, you're going right back to that game.
Okay. I'll say high school was the championship game.
That was your senior year, right?
Yes, my senior year.
18.
We were doing well. We missed about 18 free throws that game and lost by 4. Okay, so that right in itself is the story of the game.
And who was the opponent?
But who won that year? I don't even remember. I try not to remember.
I feel like it wasn't us, so it don't matter.
It was McAllister.
Okay.
Yes, it was McAllister. I think about it every game. Like, we did so well with free throws, like leading up to that game. We had to beat Booker T in the semis to get to that game, which was tough.
Right.
Like, they had Camry over there still, Cammy was there, Mariah was, even the underclassmen there. Like, everybody was good. So that was like the game, really. We were hyped up, like, okay, we won the semis. Like, this game, we got the championship. Finals. That was really the final game. This game shouldn't be there.
And no matter how you think about it, they say, don't think like that. It's in there.
It's in there. And we hadn't seen McAllister. We had seen Booker T like 3 times before that during the season. And that was our first time meeting McAllister. And we weren't ready, obviously.
Wow. Golly.
If I could take it back, just make 5 free throws. That's all we need.
5 free throws, we win by 1. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's
easy
all we need.
Word. Golly. And I tell people all the time, it's funny about that question is funny to me because obviously whoever I'm talking to, you got a lot more bright moments and memories in this game than the darker ones. But the darker ones, they up front. Yeah. And you forget about all the good stuff. It's just that one of them 2 that stick out.
Yeah.
Now, what about at the college level?
Oh, college level.
Yeah, I mean, you was up there for 6 years.
I know. Let me tell you, I went through so many teammates and coaches too. I want to say we played Lincoln at their house. Now, not to knock anyone that played on Lincoln while I was Southwest Baptist, but they were on the lower end of opponents when it came to that, to MIAA. And like they played hard, but as far as like skill and stuff, when they
didn't have enough.
couldn't compete with us, and we lost to them, I think, at home and away.
Oh, they swept you.
They swept us. I think it was my junior year.
Damn.
I was like, oh, okay, what's going on?
Y'all went in
So
there and
we had quite a practice after we lost both of those games. Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you always feel it coming? Like, man, I already know Coach finna be on.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like we go into it very prepared. So if we're not playing hard and then we end up losing, the next day everybody's sitting there like, hey, I think practice gonna go.
You know what practice gonna go.
We running, y'all. We gonna run today.
Run like a son of a gun. Golly. All right, I lied. This is the last question.
Okay.
Well, it ain't even a question. Will you give me some of the pros and cons in your estimation of being a high school athlete a college athlete, whether you're on your way in there or you're already there and there's a coaching change? Because I've seen that work both ways for a player. Some of them have benefited, others it was hurtful.
Yeah, I kind of think it depends on the situation with the staff there at the time, and then the coach change. For me, it was a pro because I didn't necessarily enjoy my freshman year, and the coaching staff was just okay to me. I don't know, but that was the whole reason for me thinking about going back JUCO, because I was like, well, if they stay, I don't really know, if I want to stay. Then like, well, he's leaving. Okay, well, maybe the next coach here we'll see eye to eye. I don't know, but I'm not a fan of just leaving and things get rough. So I was gonna try to, stick it out regardless, because it was a good situation. Like my school's getting paid for it, But I don't know. I think the pros and cons. It just it depends on the kid and the situation they're in. A lot of kids, like if they enjoy the coach they're playing for, like bringing somebody new in, they can be hesitant and not necessarily want to buy in right away to a change. A lot of people don't like change. So if it's not broke, why are you trying to fix it? That's kind of how they go about the situation. It just kind of depends.
I'd also seen where it's like, if I recruited you and then I move on, Coach Smoot over there, he may not see the same thing in you as I saw.
Yeah, like you could be the star your freshman year, and then the new coach comes in like, well, she's okay. We might bring her off the bench.
Right. It's like, oh.
Hopefully that's not that big of a jump, but it happens, or you're not getting the minutes that you think you should. Right. It's a lot.
Got to have some fight in you.
Yeah.
But that's perspective right there, Coach. Well, I appreciate you coming and kicking it with us today on the podcast.
I appreciate you for having me.
No doubt. I've always known a little something about you and who you are, but this is the first conversation we've had. And I've enjoyed it. So best of luck to you, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be at Rogers State checking out some action.
Yes, y'all. Come support.
For sure.
I have to bring you a schedule.
I'm going to have it.